You ever grew up in so much chaos that silence freaks you out? Like the minute the house gets too quiet, you're not relaxed. You're suspicious. You're like, who died? Who's fighting? Did somebody hide the chancla? What did I do? I grew up with enchiladas, exorcisms, and emotional damage, all before middle school. It's like God and the devil had shared custody, and neither of them believed in gentle parenting. And the custody exchange? Oh, baby, that was messy. Sunday mornings with Jesus, Sunday afternoons with people who made Jesus nervous. Somehow, that cocktail created me, BB Savage. This is my origin story. Why I'm like this. Why I can sit in a room full of chaos and blink like it's background noise, and then turn the trauma into a joke that same day. And honestly, it's a miracle I'm not in a cult, or a cartel, or married to some youth pastor named Tyler who thinks kombucha cures sin. Oh, before we go any further, 3 things you need to know. 1. Nothing here is made up. If anything, I'm giving y'all the PG-13 version. The director's cut? Oh, baby. That's trauma therapy only. Number 2. I'm not here to shame my family. They were doing the best they could with the tools or weapons they were given. Number 3. I'm not telling this because I'm special. I'm telling it because I know I'm not. Some of y'all grew up in your own version of this. Different language, different food, same chaos. So if at any point during this episode you're like, oh shit, that was my house, just know you are seen and we should probably meet weekly. This is BB Savage, morally ambiguous, real talk for the beautifully flawed. When I say raised by a village, I don't mean like, oh, community love. No, baby. This was logistics. This was who's sober enough to pick her up, who's not mad at whose house won't burn down today. Whoever had the least amount of drama got me that weekend. I wasn't a child. I was a handoff. But I liked being the family hot potato. And the reasons changed constantly. Side-eyeing Nana's cousin, so I avoid the back room. Mom's fasting for something again, so the house smells like regret and chicken broth. Grandpa's house was an experience. It smelled like tortillas, old coffee, perms, and secrets. And not light secrets. Not cute secrets. I'm talking nobody asked questions or you might disappear secrets. When I was a kid, we went on many adventures, the likes of which we'll get into over the season. But being at Grandpa's house meant being with my great-grandparents too. They were about 80 when I was born. They loved hard, protected fiercely, but were blind to who their son really was. I picked up the phone once, and I overheard a conversation I was not supposed to. My grandfather asked me later if it had been me who picked up the phone. I was nervous, but I told him the truth. He asked me if I planned to discuss with him what I had heard. I must have been about 6 or 7 at the time. My response? What's to tell? With a wink. Honestly, it worked. He took me to EG's and it wasn't discussed again. I learned that day, though, not everything in the movies is just a movie. And then there's my dad. My biological dad. He's one of the most important parts of this story. My story. And also one of the most complicated. My dad was raised in the same chaos I was dropped into, but from the inside. He was a little boy when Grandpa and Nana divorced. He grew up seeing things no kid should see. He grew up with expectations no child should carry. He was hella charismatic, handsome, funny, but also carrying storms he didn't know how to name. He wasn't the villain of my story. He wasn't the hero either. He's a man trying to survive the same generational mess that I was born into. And he loved me. In his own way, in the way he was able, in the windows where life allowed him to show up as I aged. He's half of why I spent so much time bouncing between houses. Not because he didn't care, but because he didn't have the stability he deserved. Because his foundation was cracked long before I came along. And I don't tell this story out of judgment. I tell it out of compassion. Because men raised in chaos often grow up without tools for their emotions and then get blamed for drowning. My dad is part of why I care so much about men's mental health. Because I watched a man I love fight battles he never says out loud. And little me always wanted him to be okay. My dad loved me fiercely when I was little. Fiercely. Like, chest out, anyone looks at my daughter wrong and I'll fight their shadow type of love. He was young, a teen dad, and he got slammed with shame from both sides. My Nana and Poppy were not gentle about it. They really didn't like my mom. You mix teen parenthood, family disapproval, religious guilt, plus growing up with Grandpa, and you get a man carrying storms he never had language for. You hear me talk about moral ambiguity? He's one of the reasons I understand it so well. My dad is macho, old school, boxer, big personality, so brilliantly smart. He can be the nicest man in the room or the meanest. Depends on what you earned. But here's the truth. He had no idea what Grandpa was doing with me. He didn't know the things I saw, the things I learned, the things I understood way too early. And if he listens to this episode, this will be the first time he hears it. Nana and Poppy. Same family, different choices. They did their best to escape the chaos. They acted like they went full witness protection from their own relatives. They kept to themselves and stayed as peaceful as possible. Sans normal-ish teen drama from just about all of their children. Where the loudest thing was the parrot yelling in Nana's voice, "Margot, telephone!" So my teenage aunt would come running, at which point the damn bird would laugh at her every time. Honestly, I must admit, I was a little shit. My dad's sisters were only 10 and 11 years older than me. We had a weird relationship, but picking on Margot was on the list. I'd sit there when she made me angry and whisper, "Pretty bird, ring the phone and call Margot?" I know. I know. I remember walking into their house as a kid and just literally calming down for the first time since the last time I was there. Soft leather couches, matching decor, swimming and being a kid. It felt like rehab for my cortisol. At Grandpa's, he lived with my great-grandparents. There was yelling, door slamming, the TV blasting novellas, baseball or boxing. At Nana and Poppy's, the biggest emergency was typically running out of lemon for the tea. Although there was that normalish drama we'll get into later in bits. Mom's side. Oh, honey. Holy Ghost, high anxiety, and hella scriptures. She was the kind of mom that would pray for you and panic about you at the same time. Angel, I'm praying for your safety, but also I had a dream last night and I think the devil's after you. And I'm standing there like, ma'am, I'm 6. But she meant well. She did what she had been taught, which was fear first, faith second, therapy never. And then there was my Nino, my godfather, one of Nana's brothers, a soft soul with a hard shell, like an artist trapped in a family full of wolves. Not like, that's exactly what it was. Nino was an Air Force pilot, which was very convenient to the family business. He didn't volunteer. He was more drafted by DNA. He drank a lot. Did coke like most of the family. Flawed, bruised, but brilliant. But with me, he was gentle. We spent hours at the family restaurant, sitting up at the bar, him with a Coors, me with my virgin strawberry daiquiri, acting like I owned the place. Nino treated me like I was the heir to something powerful, like I was meant to run the world. He tried to keep me innocent while teaching me confidence. He loved me in a very human way. And then, God bless her, my Nina, my godmother. My godmother told me everybody's business since I was 3, possibly younger. She was whispering chisme to me in the womb. She treated me like I was taking her crown, like I was her apprentice, her little gossip protege. We watched Golden Girls and MASH. We stayed up late. She let me dress up in her clothes and makeup. She taught me life lessons at age 2 that adults aren't ready to hear. She wasn't perfect. She was chaotic. Funny, loud, vodka powered. But she made me feel like somebody. Not a burden, not a background character. Jumping house to house, you learn to shapeshift fast. At Nana's, I was sweet and quiet. At Grandpa's, I was invisible or powerful. At my mom's, I was a child of God who better not embarrass her at church. Different normals, different expectations. And little me didn't know who I was, only who I needed to be to stay safe in each place. That right there, that's chapter 1 of why I'm morally ambiguous. My childhood was a double feature. Part 1, Sunday school. Part 2, crime documentary. Bible in the morning, people doing stuff that would make Jesus nervous in the afternoon. I grew up terrified of demons. Not because I saw one, but because every adult acted like demons were lurking behind everything. You sneeze? Demon. You cry? Demon. You don't want to hug your weird Uncle so-and-so? Demon. No, Brenda, that's not a demon. That's my intuition. And then on my dad's side, baby, the family business energy was strong. People talking in code. People arriving too early, leaving too late. People walking in with envelopes and walking out with lighter pockets. People using tunnels nobody admitted existed. Kids know everything. We hear everything. We just don't know the vocabulary yet. One time, someone literally said, if anyone asks, we were at the restaurant all day. But we weren't, though. As a kid, you learn quick. There's reality, and then there's the family version of reality. That knowledge? That's moral ambiguity school. Most kids fall asleep to lullabies. I fell asleep to the Golden Girls, MASH, 007, Frasier, or a nice horror movie. Between the show tunes and serial killers, my dreams were cooked different. What shaped me most wasn't the chaos. It was the denial, the pretending, the silence, the we don't talk about that. I learned early. If they don't name it, it doesn't exist. But my body knew. My nervous system knew. That's where the savage starts forming. In the gaps between truth and silence. Savage doesn't mean heartless. Savage means I survived some shit with style. It means I didn't let bitterness be my entire personality. It means I turned the trauma into punchlines. It means I didn't let the darkness swallow my humor. I remember being a kid. I was roasting with friends. You know how kids get creative with insults. Someone said something about me, and I clapped back with the truth that was too real. The room got quiet. Then everyone burst out laughing. Then they said, damn, you're savage. And baby, I felt that in my spirit. Grandpa taught me loyalty. Nana and Poppy taught me peace was possible. My mom taught me faith and fear. The family shadows taught me instincts. Trauma taught me comedy. It was like assembling a personality from Chaos IKEA. There was always a good girl and the real me. Good girl. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. I'll pray about it. Real me? Y'all are local, and I'm taking notes. Here we are. There was a day someone wanted me to lie for them. A lie that would have placed me in the middle of some serious adult chaos. And I remember thinking, this is a test. And it was indeed. And I had passed. That was my first savage move. Quiet, firm, and deeply expensive. This is not a tell-all. I'm not here to drag anyone. I'm here to tell the truth. Chaos produces chaos. Silence produces confusion. Kids grow into funny, traumatized, brilliant adults. This episode is for them. If you grew up bouncing house to house, if you shaped yourself to survive, if you learned to read moods before you could read books, you're not broken. You're adapted. And baby, adapted people are powerful. I'm morally ambiguous because I don't believe in clean lines. People are messy. People are complicated. And healing? Healing is choosing to see both. I learned empathy from being in the middle of everybody's storms. I learned humor from trying to breathe in environments that didn't allow it. You can turn pain into wisdom. You can turn chaos into compassion. You can turn trauma into comedy. And that is the heart of this show. This is episode 1, The Making of BB Savage. We're just getting started. Next episodes, we're going deeper into mom's side, the tias, the men, the heartbreak, the funny shit, the dangerous shit, the things I learned, and the things I'm still learning. If you heard yourself in this, you're not too sensitive. You're not dramatic. You're not imagining it. You were just paying attention. I'm glad you're here. Drink some water, text someone safe, and remember, you're allowed to become something beautiful out of something that should have destroyed you. This has been BB Savage, morally ambiguous, real talk for the beautifully flawed. See you in episode 2.